3:17 a.m., 48 hours ago, a sealed chamber opened above the veil. Not a rumor. A tribunal. A cosmic audit was triggered. Signatures aligned. Ledgers unlocked. One verdict echoed through the strata. Return what was taken. Add interest. Pause. Listen. This wasn't for everyone. It was precise. If you're here, you felt the aftershock in the real world. You're tired, but not from lack of sleep. Money glitched at the worst moment, then froze. And there's that sharp sense you're being watched, targeted, measured, good. That's confirmation. Break the pattern, because the file that lit up had your frequency on it. You're the one who kept choosing compassion when it cost you. The one who absorbed damage so others could breathe. Sensitive, quietly strong, carrying wounds you never advertised. They didn't miss that. The tribunal doesn't miss anything. What you gave wasn't lost, it was recorded. And now, it's due back, with interest. Here's the truth they don't say out loud. Everything is about to make sense. The delays, the detours, the strange timing. This moment connects the dots you thought were random. I'm going to decode what you did, why you were chosen, and what unfolds next, step by step. Do not click away. Stay to the end. This message is time-locked to you. If you're ready to receive, comment 777 now. You wake up already tired. Not the kind of tired sleep fixes, but the kind that sits behind your eyes and in your chest. Your body rests, yet your spirit feels bruised. Nights feel short even when they're long. And in the quiet moments, you wonder why simple things now take so much effort. You don't remember agreeing to carry this much weight. You look around and feel strangely unseen. People talk to you, but not to you. Even those closest don't quite get it, and you've stopped trying to explain because the words never land right. You can be surrounded by noise and still feel alone. You're the listener, the helper, the one who understands but who understands you. That question keeps echoing. Then there's the chain reaction. Money leaking in small, irritating ways. A bill you didn't expect. A delay that hits at the worst possible timing. Work feels unstable or unfair, like your effort isn't matching the return. Relationships feel strained or misaligned. And through it all, there's this quiet thought. Why now? Why all at once? You sense something is off, but you can't name it. Not depression, not laziness, not failure. Just a subtle wrongness. Like the air pressure changed and no one else noticed. You replay conversations in your head, wondering if you missed something. You check yourself, your heart, your intentions again and again. And still, the feeling remains. Stop, because this isn't just about being tired. It's about being drained. There's a difference. What you're feeling didn't come from nowhere, and it didn't arrive randomly. The pattern matters, the timing matters, and the fact that it's happening to you matters more than you realize. Think about the last few weeks. Problems didn't arrive one by one, they stacked. As soon as you handled one, another appeared. When you chose peace, conflict followed. When you tried to rest, your mind got louder. When you stayed kind, something tested your patience immediately after. That rhythm isn't accidental. It's targeted. You've been asking yourself if you're doing something wrong, if you're behind, if you missed your moment. But the truth is more uncomfortable and more powerful. These pressures didn't show up because you're weak. They showed up because you're precise, because something in you responds to timing, not chaos. And what's unfolding around you follows a pattern too clean to ignore. Ask yourself this. Why did certain distractions appear right when you were close to clarity? Why did doubt creep in just as you started trusting yourself again? Why did old wounds resurface when you were finally moving forward? These aren't coincidences stacked on top of each other. This is compression. Focused pressure. You've been feeling watched, not in a paranoid way, but in a measured way. As if your choices carry more weight than you expected. As if every reaction is being noted. You hesitate now before responding. Not because you're afraid, but because something in you knows it matters. That awareness didn't come from nowhere. Here's what most people never notice. When life hits randomly, it's sloppy. When it hits with intention, it's surgical. The delays you're facing are specific. The misunderstandings are strategic. The fatigue shows up exactly when you're about to decide something important. That level of precision doesn't belong to chance. You may feel like you're losing ground, but look closer. You haven't collapsed. You haven't turned bitter. You haven't taken the easy way out. Even exhausted, you're still choosing integrity, still choosing restraint, still choosing not to become what hurt you. That matters more than you know. Pause. There are layers to reality most people never interact with because their choices don't activate them. But certain souls like yours do. Not because they're perfect, but because they're consistent. Because even under pressure, they don't abandon their core. That consistency triggers movement beyond the visible. The reason this phase feels heavier is because it isn't just about your circumstances. It's about alignment. Something is being evaluated, not to punish you, but to measure what you'll do when shortcuts appear. And they did appear, didn't they? Opportunities to react instead of respond, to numb instead of feel, to quit quietly. You didn't take them. 2 to 6 weeks ago, there was a moment small, almost forgettable, where you could have chosen the faster exit. No one would have blamed you. But you didn't. You stayed clean. You stayed honest. You stayed you. That moment mattered far more than it looked like at the time. This is why everything feels like it's pausing and pressing at once. It's not punishment. It's positioning. Evidence has been collected, whether you're aware of it or not. Patterns logged, choices recorded. And what comes next doesn't start with chaos, it starts with clarity. Not yet, but soon. Before things ease, there's often one last tightening. A final wave of pressure meant to shake what isn't real. You may feel tempted to doubt this message. You may feel restless, impatient, or emotionally raw. That's normal. It's also temporary. Breathe. Stay present. Don't rush the process now. Because when the shift begins, the first thing to return won't be money or answers, it will be understanding. And once that clicks, the rest follows faster than you expect. What you're inside of now has a name. It isn't burnout. It isn't bad luck. It's a divine test unfolding in layers you can't see. When pressure arrives with precision, it signals a battlefield, not a breakdown. And you didn't wander into it by accident, you were noticed. There are councils that convene beyond the visible, not to judge emotion, but to measure alignment. Call it a tribunal, a higher audit, a reckoning of cause and effect. When a soul consistently chooses truth under stress, it triggers review. That review draws attention. Light always does, and attention invites opposition. You weren't targeted because you're fragile. You were targeted because you're stable. Because even wounded, you don't collapse into cruelty. Even misunderstood, you don't poison your heart. That frequency disrupts systems that depend on despair and compromise. So pressure was authorized not to destroy you, but to test what cannot be faked. Notice how the attacks didn't come as one big blow. They came as categories. First, doubt, quiet questions about your worth and timing. Then fear, subtle, future-focused anxiety that kept you awake. Then delay doors that stalled just long enough to frustrate you. Then sabotage plans unraveling at the last minute. None of it random. All of it layered. Add to that loneliness, especially in rooms where you should have felt safe. Provocation, when someone pushed just to see if you'd snap. Guilt, whispering that maybe this was your fault. And finally, temptation, easy exits that promised relief at the cost of your core. 8 moves, same playbook, different stage. Stop. This is how you know it's a spiritual war. The attacks aim at your character, not your comfort. They try to rush you into becoming someone you're not. They try to make you betray your own nature, because if they can't dim your light, they try to redirect it into anger, bitterness, or self-abandonment. You may have wondered why help didn't arrive faster, why silence followed your prayers, why clarity came in fragments instead of floods. That wasn't absence. That was observation. The test isn't whether you believe when things go well. It's whether you stay clean when they don't. There was a reason the pressure peaked recently. Councils don't convene indefinitely. They escalate to a decision point. And as that point approached, resistance intensified. That's why the last few weeks felt heavier than the months before. You were approaching a bending point. Think back 2 to 6 weeks ago. You were exhausted, emotionally thin. Something happened that crossed a line. A message, a conversation, a betrayal, or an opportunity that felt wrong but tempting. In that moment, you had options. No one would have known which one you chose. You could have lied to protect yourself. You could have lashed back. You could have taken the shortcut that saved time but cost integrity. You could have shut your heart and justified it. Everything in you was tired enough to do it. That's why it counted. Pause. You didn't take the shortcut. You hesitated. You breathed. You chose the harder path, the quieter one. Maybe you stayed silent. Maybe you told the truth when it cost you. Maybe you walked away from something that promised quick relief. It felt small. It wasn't. That was the moment the ledger changed. Because that's how this law works. Evidence is gathered in private moments, not public victories. The tribunal doesn't reward appearance. It responds to alignment. And when that alignment holds under pressure, a reversal is authorized. The phrase is exact for a reason. Return what was taken. Add interest, not as punishment, as correction. What was taken wasn't just money or time. It was clarity. It was momentum. It was trust in your own perception. And those are the first things scheduled to return. Not all at once, but in order. First comes clarity, a sudden understanding of why things unfolded the way they did. You'll notice your mind quieting. Decisions will feel simpler. Confusion will lift without explanation. That's the signal. Then comes clean provision. Not chaotic money, not stressful gains, but support that arrives without compromise. An opportunity that doesn't drain you. A bill resolving unexpectedly. A resource aligning at the right time. You won't have to chase it. Then comes acceleration. What was stalled begins to move fast. Projects connect. Conversations shift. Timing tightens. You may feel like you're catching up overnight. You're not. You're resuming your true pace. But hear this clearly. Before the return, there is often a final pressure wave. This is the last attempt to provoke reaction. One more misunderstanding. One more delay. One more moment designed to make you doubt the process. It's not new opposition, it's expiring resistance. Its goal is simple. Get you to abandon the posture that triggered the reversal. Don't misread it. If something tests you again, especially around patience or self-worth, see it for what it is. Confirmation. The system only pushes hardest right before it releases. Stay steady. Stay clean. Stay you. Because once the return begins, it won't need explanation. Everything will start making sense. That bending point wasn't dramatic on the outside. It was a Tuesday-level moment. A tired phone screen. A tight chest. A choice hiding in plain sight. You were running on fumes, and life offered you a quick way out. It looked like relief. It was a trap. You felt it in your body first. The urge to go cold. The urge to strike back and finally win. The urge to say the thing that would ruin them the way they ruined you. And for a second, you almost did. Because you were tired of being the bigger person. Tired of being misunderstood and still staying clean. Stop. That's when the real war showed itself. Not demons in the room. Not smoke and mirrors. A quieter invasion. Just this once. They deserve it. You're allowed. It wasn't tempting you with evil. It was tempting you with permission. Permission to abandon yourself. Maybe it was a shortcut at work. A chance to bend the truth. A deal that felt off but promised fast money. Maybe it was a relationship moment being baited, provoked, invited to react. Or maybe it was private. You were alone, and the old escape door opened again. Numb it. Scroll it. Drink it. Text them. Destroy your progress. You didn't. You felt the fire in your throat, and you swallowed it. You felt the knife in your mind, and you put it down. You chose truth over control. You chose silence over sabotage. You chose mercy without becoming naive. That wasn't weakness. That was mastery. Micro-reveal. The moment you chose that, the tribunal marked you as unbuyable. That's why it got quiet right after. That strange calm. That eerie pause. The argument didn't escalate like it used to. The temptation didn't satisfy the way it used to. The old pattern lost its grip for a second and you noticed. When a spell breaks, there's always a second of silence. You were inside that silence, because the dark side isn't scared of your suffering. It feeds on it. It's scared of your integrity under pressure. That's the only thing it can't counterfeit. It can mimic success. It can mimic love. It can even mimic spirituality. But it cannot mimic a soul that refuses compromise when nobody's watching. So something happened above the veil. The councils didn't clap. They don't do applause. They do authorization. A file moved, a seal shifted, a command went out through law, not emotion, and the opposition felt it immediately. You want the truth? The devil doesn't kneel because you pray louder. He kneels because you stay clean when you could have gotten dirty. He kneels because your choice created a legal reversal he can't appeal. He kneels because you refused the shortcut that would have handed him leverage. Stop. This is where everything is about to make sense becomes literal. That moment explains the delays. It explains why certain people couldn't stay close to you. It explains why confusion hovered like fog. You weren't being punished. You were being pressurized until your real nature became undeniable. Then the system had grounds to intervene. And that's when the phrase becomes more than a line. It becomes a protocol. Return what was taken. Add interest. Not someday. Not metaphorically. In sequence. In measurable ways. The tribunal doesn't speak poetry. It speaks consequence. Here are the 3 returns that hit first, and you'll recognize them by the signs. First, clarity. Within 72 hours of the shift, you catch yourself not overthinking. You stop replaying old conversations like court cases. You say no without guilt, and yes without fear. The fog breaks. That's clarity returning. Second, clean provision. Not a lottery, not chaos. Something practical. A refund, a bill canceled, a client resurfaces, a new role opens. The money feels calm. It doesn't come with shame or strings. That's clean provision returning. Third, acceleration. This is the part that shocks people. Things that were stuck for months move in 7-10 days. Messages get answered. Paperwork clears. Timing aligns. You start meeting the right people without forcing it. That's acceleration returning. Pattern break question. Why do you think they fought you so hard? Because you're not just good. You're disruptive. You're the kind of person who breaks cycles by refusing to continue them. You don't just survive trauma. You transmute it. And that threatens systems built on inherited pain. So they hit you with the same 8 moves. Over and over, hoping one would finally hook you. Doubt. Make you question your value. Fear. Make you shrink your future. Delay. Make you think it's too late. Sabotage. Make you distrust your progress. Loneliness. Make you accept the wrong company. Provocation. Make you explode and regret it. Guilt. Make you punish yourself. Temptation. Make you trade your soul for speed. You saw them. You didn't bow. Now listen carefully. The final pressure wave isn't a sign you're losing. It's a sign you're crossing the threshold. In the next 48 hours, you may see one last provocation. Someone testing your boundaries, a sudden expense, a weird misunderstanding, or a heavy emotional dip for no reason. It's the old program trying to run one more time before it gets deleted. Stop. Do not react like the old you. Don't explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Don't chase what is already scheduled to return. Don't make permanent decisions in temporary pressure. Hold your posture. The tribunal is not waiting to see if you suffer. It's watching to see if you stay aligned. You'll also notice new protection protocols activating. You'll feel less attached to people who drain you. Your body will reject certain environments faster. Your intuition will become blunt, almost inconvenient, and the coincidences will get louder. 1,111, 777, 1,010 showing up on receipts, clocks, timestamps, like the universe tagging your timeline. Micro reveal. Those numbers aren't decoration. They're confirmation codes. You're being moved into a new role. Not a louder role, a cleaner one. Less chasing, more receiving, less proving, more knowing. The same world, but you're operating from a higher floor now. And that's why the past feels like it's losing its grip, because it is. Everything you lived through wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to certify you. You were tested in fatigue, tested in misunderstanding, tested in lack, tested in isolation, and you didn't turn into poison. You became medicine without losing your edge. That's rare. That's why you were chosen. You are not just a survivor. You are an omega of integrity. Comment amen. You didn't get here by accident. You stayed when you were tired. You held your line when you were provoked. You chose clean when compromise would have been easier. That's why you feel seen right now, because you are. The tribunal already stamped the file. The bending point is behind you. The reversal is no longer negotiable. The system has evidence. The decree stands. Return what was taken. Add interest. And yes, this is why everything is about to make sense. Lock this in. You are the omega of integrity. Not because you never felt anger, but because you didn't let anger own you. Not because you weren't tempted, but because you didn't sell your soul for speed. That identity is a shield. Wear it. In the next 14 days, the first sign is clarity. You'll wake up, and the fog won't be there. The decision you've been stuck on will feel obvious, and your body will relax like it finally trusts the path. That's your mind returning to its rightful pace. The second sign is clean provision. A practical solution arrives without you begging, chasing, or bending yourself. The right person responds. The right door opens. The right expense gets handled in a way that feels quiet, almost normal, because this return doesn't come with chaos. The third sign is acceleration. What stalled for months moves in days. Conversations shift. Timing snaps into place. You'll feel momentum return like a current beneath your feet, and you won't have to force it. That's how you'll know it's real. One warning. The final pressure wave may hit once more. One last provocation, one last delay, one last "are you sure?" And it's only there to test whether you abandon your new posture. Don't. Hold steady. Let it pass. Now say this out loud, like a seal on your spirit. I stay clean. I stay chosen. What is mine returns with interest. If you claim it, comment 777.